One. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Reality Kingdom, where we talk all things reality TV or whatever. Today, we are bringing you the week 3 recap of Big Brother Canada 10.
No.
Owl. I am your host, Pharaoh, and I am joined by my wonderful co-host, Lee. How you doing? Purr.
Thank you. Because for one, I am wonderful. I'm glad you acknowledged it. And then two, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. Kyle is going.
Purr.
Hands of Miss Summer.
Purr. Purr. You said Summer get her tens this time?
Getting her 10. Summer's getting her 10. Summer is getting
Hmm.
all her respect.
Hmm.
Summer is the reason why Kyle is going home, and we're
Ooh.
going to get into it a little bit later. Okay.
Purr. Okay. Um. So let's get into what happened this week. At the beginning of the week, Stephanie goes home. Mouths drop. Mouths drop. Only two mouths.
Because it was a 9-2 vote.
Only three mouths, I guess. But mouths drop. The girls are shocked. And by the girls, I mean JC, Lynn, Gino, and Kyle. And that's it. Everybody else was like, Josh is staying. We should good. Josh stays. That's amazing. That's amazing. Because Josh technically was getting backdoor, but like, girl, was he? Anyways, he stayed. We get to the HOH competition. Everybody's like, well, if anybody went HOH except JC, Lynn, or Gino, Kyle is out.
And Kyle's out.
And Kyle's out. And that's it. And it's a mental competition, so it's like, girl, the girls got this. And
Gino.
Daddy Gino. Ooh.
Oh. So he's not only fine,
But he's
he's the
Marty.
brains.
He's the brains, girl.
Like brains, brawn, and body.
It's giving, I need to give him brain, you know?
And he can give me body.
He's giving body, yaddy, 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 yaddy. Ah,
We need to stop. We need to stop.
okay, you're right. But he's doing, I mean, look. Anyways. Gino wins HOH, and the audience is kind of disturbed because we're like, wait a minute, Kyle got a goal. So it's looking like Kyle is going to stay another week, and it's like, I guess we'll get him next week. So Gino is like, Marty done flipped. Marty's arra. So Gino is feeling like he's finna nominate Marty and Jess for eviction. He basically is telling everybody, he's like, look, I'm pretty much, I'm finna just nominate Marty and Jess for eviction. You good. He's telling Herman, he's like, Herman, I mean, we cool. I wanna still keep it up with you. We cool. He's telling Summer, we cool. I still wanna keep it up with you. We cool. He's telling Moose, we cool. It's looking like, okay, maybe he can like reconcile some of these relationships or whatever. So we get to the veto, and it's giving, if one of them win, probably Tanisha might go up. So it's kind of like, oof, do we want one of them to win? But anyways, so Marty wins the veto, and it's kind of like, shit, Tanisha might go up. It might be Tanisha versus Jess, but then Miss Summer say less. What Summer say less do? Summer stand.
So she approached Gino well before
Oh,
the
it
video was even
was
played.
before the veto.
Post noms, actually. She was like, honestly, I just feel as if, if you were to put up Kyle, you can build better relationships around the house, I would want to work with you still. A lot of people, she basically was just selling it as a lot of people want to still bring him in. You're guilty by association only, and, you know, you're not necessarily a main target. Now, a lot of people try to say that, she did not cultivate this entire plan. But let's be very clear, she did, because a lot of the arguments that Gino were using were the same arguments that she presented in their conversation. So you can try to huff and puff and say this person, it was Summer. And you need to give Summer her 10. She ate that because one of the main reasons why he wanted to do it, because he wanted to bring Summer in. He literally said this on the feeds. I think Summer will work with me now. I still have her. He wants to get the Honey Bunches reconnected, which is him, JC, Lynn, Josh, and who? Summer say less. You bitch is not fucking with her. But we're gonna get further into it when we get to her rating.
Period. So We get to the veto ceremony or the renom section of the game, and I feel like this is an important part of the week, so I'm gonna talk about it. Helena has a conversation with Gino, and Helena's goal is to get her mom backdoor. And so basically, Gino's like, I mean, and she's like, oh, he's like, I don't think we're gonna have the vote. They talk about how they're probably not gonna have the votes because Helena is saying that Herman has a whole side of people. Herman is working with the blacks. I was gonna name everybody, the blacks. And Helena's kind of pitching this to Gino, and Gino's like, "Well, damn, I wish you would have told me this earlier because what I'm supposed to do now? If you're telling me they're all working together, I don't have the votes, sis." And she's like, "Ooh, you don't have the votes, sis." And Helena's kind of like, "I mean, I guess Kyle would also be a good reader." And Gino's like, "Oh, I guess Kyle." And from then on, basically, Gino is like, well, Kyle it is. He's using the same arguments as Summer gave to him. So he's feeling like if Kyle goes, then he can then work with Summer. He said that if Kyle goes, Summer will allow me to work with him. If Kyle goes, other people will want to work with me. I won't be a guilty by association. It'll help my game. So he feels like renomming Kyle will help his game, and that's what he does. He renoms Kyle, and the house is ecstatic. The house is cheerful, gleeful, happy.
Joyful noise, actually. It was beautiful. I mean, honestly, Gino's dumb as hell. But, we won. We won. His stupidity caused us to win this good. I mean, this had to be the best outcome. I did not think Kyle would go home. I was prepared. The thing, like literally, when he said Kyle was going up, I wasn't even like I didn't even get that. You know what I mean? Because like I had already accepted that he was gonna be there. So when he said, "Oh, I'm putting Kyle up," I was like, I didn't know how to react, and now he's up.
And now he's up.
He's going home.
And he's going
So I just
home.
feel like I won. This week was an accomplishment for me. I mean, yeah, let's get
Yeah.
it going.
Look. Um. So now Kyle is probably going to go home at a unanimous vote on Gino's HOH, which is interesting because Gino's kind of leaving the door for if literally anybody else gets HOH, who they gonna target? We'll get into that. So that's basically how the week went. The house is looking still so fluid. There's not even a description of the house layout that I can really give you. A vague kind of idea is that basically all the black house guests are kind of working together vaguely. Basically, Gino is trying to make a new situation of a honey bunches with JC Lynn and Summer. Well, that's not even. I don't even know if he wants to do that anymore because now Helena's brought him this new information. So he's like, maybe I need to make something with Helena and Kevin, and it's like, oh, okay. So the house is still all over the place because if someone from the black side of the house wins HOH, then so basically it's still up in the air. It's still all over the place, and there's not really a solidified situation going on. Hopefully, it'll solidify after this, but I don't know if it will. So let's just get into the ratings. Lee, you got something to say before we get into the ratings?
No. I mean, honestly, like the way the house is split up is that like a lot of these ratings are gonna just be very. Like, I feel like a lot of people are gonna kind of get around the same ratings because like the house can go either way at this point. Like no structure has been solidified, and we're potentially about to get ready to go into jury. Maybe next round is potentially the last round for a jury. At least I'm hoping. I want a 9-person jury this year, please. So I'm excited. I just hope one of my faves win, as in Summer side.
Bye. So let's get into these ratings. Okay. Oh, first, before we hop into the people who are still in the house, let's go ahead and talk about Stephanie real quick. Um,
Why don't you just move her rating over?
because her rating last week isn't gonna be her overall rating. It's not. It's not. Okay, what do you think overall, Steph? What do you think of over? It might be, but it
A
wasn't for
2.
Jay. It wasn't for Jay.
It's a 2.
It's a two overall. No thoughts. No thoughts. See, that's the thing. But when summer, if summer, well, She's not losing. When Herman get out, I want to talk a little bit about his overall game. So that's why we do this. Okay,
You're right. You're right. But these okay. I see. Okay, I see it
we gotta
now.
be
I
consistent.
see
We
it.
gotta be consistent.
These are a bunch of
It's
duds.
dud
I
after
don't
dud
care.
after dud. Stephanie, 2.5.
No. Okay.
Three,
Generous.
2.5. 2.5.
Pharaoh's being generous today. Love it.
I am the generous queen. Um. All right. Let's get into the people who are actually in the house. Unfortunately, we have to start with the flop Betty. No, I'm playing. I'm playing. Let's just start with Betty. Lee, this your girl, so you can start with her because I'm not gonna start
You're
with
gonna
her.
put some motherfucking respect on Betty's name.
Right.
Betty Bethlehem Business B survived another week without going on the motherfucking block. And
Mhm.
like I said last week, it's gonna be a while before I feel like she touches the block again. And if
Mhm.
she does, she's not going home. I think right now she's in a prime position. I think there are kind of two sides setting up. Like Pharaoh mentioned earlier, it's really just the blacks, honestly. Which would be Summer, Tanisha, Herman, Moose, Josh, Betty, and then Josh and Summer are kind of playing the middle with the Ginos and the JC Lynn's, and Josh has connections to Kevin and Helena and Marty, and then Gino's trying to create his own side with specifically JC Lynn, Marty, Helena because Helena wants to target Herman,
Mhm.
and Kevin because Kevin wants to target Herman.
Mhm.
So Betty, I feel like in all of that mess is sitting pretty. Like look
Okay.
at all of that. And then Betty's sitting there chilling. So
Mhm.
honestly, I gave her 5 last week. I'm gonna give her another 5. I think the comps are very equitable. We don't know what she can do in the end game. Look how close she got into that competition. That wasn't luck, babes. She got up there. I really see it for Betty. I'm sorry. I
You've been
see it
seeing
for
it for
Betty.
Betty
I
forever.
love her personality. She was sitting pretty this week. Her and Kevin has forged a new relationship. Her and Jess has a relationship. Her and Helena has a relationship. She has a relationship with Tanisha Summer. All of the black side of the house.
Mhm.
No one's really gonna put her up. Marty will potentially put her up as a pawn. She's not sending Betty home for the
Mhm.
simple fact that he doesn't think she is that good of a player. Like
Mhm.
they keep talking down on her name in that house.
Mhm.
But guess what? Kyle was talking shit about Betty, and what is he doing? Going home.
Well.
She's outlasting him. So I have to give my sister a 5. Like I said, there's a lot of dumb gameplay going on. Betty wouldn't nominate her own ally. I'm
Ooh.
sorry, she just wouldn't, or she hasn't yet. So I can't sit up here and say she's a 4,
Well.
a 3, or a 2 when they're the 4s and 3s and 2s. So no, Betty's a 5 at least.
Okay. I will say I'm starting to see it a little bit for Betty. I'm starting to see it's taking me a little longer. I'm not too quick to give somebody a better rating, but I do think her position just gets better and better. Like the more everybody else is getting in trouble, the less trouble Betty's in. Betty is not really anybody's target. Betty is not in a bad position when it comes to how the game lies because she does have connections to people who are going to be on the other side of the game from her, which is good. Her connections aren't as strong as someone like Summers, but it's still there. She still talks to Kevin. She still talks to Jess, and she has good connections with these people and good connections with Josh. So it's like I don't know. Like I might be starting to see it. I think Betty has like a I think she sees the game kind of simply, but I think that simple view can help sometimes because Betty knows what the fuck she be talking about sometimes. I haven't heard a bad read. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, even though it doesn't seem as intricate as these other, I guess, strategists in Big Brother history, that doesn't mean she doesn't know what's going on. And that doesn't mean she can't be a good player. So for me, I'm still, it's still going to take a little time for me to really like get her up there, but I'll give her a 4 this time.
You're such a
I'll give
hater.
her a 4
You're
this
such a
time.
hater. But another good point is
Mm.
I'm about 80 to 90% sure that Josh sees Betty as his number one. I do think that is like his number
Okay.
untouchable in the house, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see him letting her go.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that she is that in close proximity to one of the best players in the house right now, I think that's also a high upside for her. I
Mm-hmm.
think if Betty, not even now, not even just now, this is still kind of early on in the game. If in the next few weeks she win maybe a veto, win a clutch competition, she takes out Gino. She
Mm-hmm.
takes out Marty.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I just see it for her. I don't know. Maybe wishful thinking. However, no matter what, I don't think she deserves anything under a five personally, just because I
Mm-hmm.
just don't think she's playing under a five. I think she hasn't been given the opportunity to prove herself.
Okay.
But when it comes to relationships in the house, she has some of the best,
Mm-hmm.
personally. But
Mm-hmm.
that's my opinion.
It is your opinion.
You're mad.
You're doing good, sweetie. Let's keep going. So with Gino, I'll talk about Gino. Gino, okay. At the beginning of his HOH reign, I actually liked what Gino was doing. I do think Gino was building, I guess, relationships better with people. It was seeming like Herman wasn't really going to target Gino, and it's kind of still seeming like that. Summer's not really going to target Gino, and I think these people could vouch for him with someone like Tanisha. And it's like he's getting good relationships with good players. Herman and Summer are very influential players. So Gino building that relationship back with them was very, very good. And that's what he was spending his HOH doing. I just think that getting out Kyle is like the worst move for Gino because it leaves him open as one of the only people for a lot of these people to target. Like even if they didn't want to target him, it's kind of like, well shit. Oops. Like no one else is there. So I liked what he did a little bit, but then again, I didn't like what he did a little bit. And now he's trying to create this whole new side, and that could undo the work he did because a lot of the work he did was pro Herman, pro Summer, pro Moose. But now this new side he's forming, if it gets around that this is starting to form, it it might undo that work. And then when Herman is HOH, what gives Helena the reason? Why wouldn't Helena be like, well, I mean, actually, or even not, if not Helena, Kevin, like, why wouldn't one of these floater people just be like, ooh, just in case Herman wants to get us out? Gino's trying to do this, then Gino's out. So it's hard because I liked what he was doing, but he's getting out Kyle. And I just think that's horrible. A 2.5. That's
Oh,
generous.
you are so low on him.
That's generous. He's getting out Kyle.
I don't think Gino. I think the move is bad,
Okay.
but this game is so all over the place, and his position in the game is just not a two. I don't think. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There are people lower than him. Jason is a strong example.
Yeah, a one.
So this is my thing with Gino. So at first, I was feeling a little bit lower on Gino at the beginning of the week because he kept talking about some I'm a lone wolf. I don't need anybody. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
make it into the end. And then I'm so glad that a day into it he realized, oh, that's stupid. Let's not do that. So he starts to show some upside. So he was making inroads with Summer. He was like, Summer, let's get the honey bunch back together. He spoke to Josh. Josh, let's get the honey bunch back together. I want to start working with you again. He was talking to Herman. He was talking to Moose. Really talking about his moves. He wasn't even talking to Marty and Kyle about his strategic decisions that much as he was with Moose and Herman specifically.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of crazy, you know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
I did think he was on a good path because those people genuinely want to work with him. After those connections, you have Moose and Summer and Herman literally had a conversation yesterday saying, if it's Jason and Gino, we're keeping Gino.
Mm-hmm.
And we should make it. Moose even mentioned we should have a final five with me, Moose, Gino, Tanisha, Summer. Like
Mm-hmm.
they want to work with him. And I
Mm-hmm.
did feel like he was actually starting to squeeze his way through, which was really, really good. It shows that he does have just a genuine social game with the people in the house.
Yeah.
And that felt me. I was like, okay, maybe he's a 4.5 because I gave him a 4 last week.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, maybe he's a 4.5.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's a 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just realized, like, here's where the issue happens. So when Helena approached Gino
Mm-hmm.
about basically Herman, Moose, and Tanisha being this crazy trio in the game, Gino was kind of already thinking that. So when Helena said it, they kind of discussed it, and they basically discussed that Herman, Tanisha, and Moose are the biggest threat in this game. They are a power core,
Mm-hmm.
and Tanisha is running it. At least that's Gino's perspective. Gino's perspective is that Tanisha is running it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is after Veto was won by Marty. So originally he wanted to put up Tanisha. The reason he didn't was because he felt like, well, if that core is real, he won't have the votes. So that's why he wanted to put up Kyle in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
But this is where it started to issue. This is where I was like, okay, he's getting off rails a little bit because all these inroads he was making, he kind of started tearing them down because he doesn't want
Mm-hmm.
to work with them. Now he doesn't trust them. Now
Exactly.
he thinks he still has Summer, but Herman and Moose, he's completely cutting off. And I can only imagine if he wins the HOH again, he's going to directly target them, which isn't good because, as I just stated, they don't want to target him.
Mm-hmm.
He now plans to work with Helena, Marty, Jason, Lynn, maybe Kevin. Kevin's not that loyal to Gino, especially at all. He's loyal to Marty. He's not loyal to Gino.
Mm-hmm.
Helena just wants Herman out. So if he's gonna get Herman out, she is cool with that.
Mm-hmm.
And what, you're gonna start working with Jess? Jess is same. She wants Herman out. You're not her biggest enemy right now, but you
Mm-hmm.
also still just dominated her.
Yeah.
And then he even went as far as to going to Josh, spilled all of his game, revealed to him what he thinks about all of those people,
That did
Herman,
happen.
Moose, Summer, Tanisha. Even though he spends all of his time with them,
Yeah.
he's admitted him everything. Josh has not spilled the beans on that conversation, but that could potentially get out because Josh expressed in a later conversation that he doesn't necessarily want to work with Gino like that. So it's just that all of that just really took me back down. So I have to keep him at a 4. The upside is, and the thing is, we just have to see where it goes from here. You know
Uh-huh.
what I mean? We don't know if this move of getting out Kyle is going to definitely detriment him
That's
because
true.
people still want to work with him. I mean, if the next HOHs go the way I want it to, which is Herman, Moose, Tanisha, then
Mm-hmm.
Gino's probably not going home because they
Mm-hmm.
want to work with him now.
Mm-hmm.
So he may still end up in a good position just for being a pretty face, but that ain't. I don't know how long it's gonna take him. I don't know how far it's gonna take him.
Mm-hmm. Okay. 4. Okay.
I think like he's in a good he's in a decent position. Like that's how I see it.
Yeah. He would be in a better position if Kyle wasn't going. So, Helena. What you think of Helena? No shade.
So I guess I will be continuing to side eye Helena for the rest of the season. Helena is definitely the rap floater queen of the season. You have to stand her for her sometimes iconic moves that get her into great positions, but you also have to really just see the complete non-loyalty to any fucking body. It's just like, damn, bitch, she's not loyal to anybody but 100K. Okay? And you gotta respect it, but it's just like it's at the expense of a lot of my faves, and I don't like that. So Helena's mission this week is to just get out her mind. That's why I explained in the conversation about Gino and Helena. Her big thing was trying to go up there and get her mind out. That didn't happen, but it ended up getting her into an alliance with Gino,
Mm-hmm.
a essential group together alliance with Gino. Helena is still aligned with the man dim, which is Betty, Tanisha, and Summer. She's still aligned with the true fuse, which is essentially all the POC house guests. She has a relationship with Jess. She has a relationship with Kevin. The girl is set up well. The thing
Well.
about Helena is that she wants the gun for HOH. And she also wants to get out of her mind. I don't see how she's going to make that happen without pissing off half the house. Do I think Helena's going to win HOH? No, not really. Do I think she actually wants to win? She honestly shouldn't. I should dock points for that. I don't want to do that, though, because I do think she's still in one of the best positions in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Unless she wins HOH, unless she wins HOH is when she'll really be screwed. But at this point, no one's talking about putting up Helena. She has now gained another ally on the other side of the house. No one's going to put her up.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, I gotta give Helena a 7. I gotta give her a 7.
Ooh.
I do think it's time to move her up because I'm looking at who else I'm moving up, and I think I'm prioritizing who's not saying their name, who's really the safest in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Helena's one of those people. In a crazy house like this, you kind of got to give it to the people who's the safest.
Mm-hmm.
I think she will, like with Betty, Betty can still get nominated. I don't even think no one's going to pawn Helena.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to give it that 7.
Okay. Helena pissed me off because I feel like Helena's game is like a game that in a normal season or like in a less fluid house, I would be like, ooh, she needs to pick a side because it's finna stabilize and she's gonna be left out if it's stabilized. But baby, it's not stabilizing. So I can't base her rating off of, well, if it does stabilize, because it hasn't so far. Like her playing this little flip floppy game, it could have got her caught up in another season, but in this season, it just works. So what she's
Okay.
doing just keeps working. Every time somebody's HOH, Helena gets invited into the alliance of the HOH. Every single time. Every single time. Since Marty, the next one. Who's the next one? Marty, Kyle, Herman, not even Herman, but this person. What's this person named Gino? So it's like, damn, she keeps getting invited into alliances. When Kyle was finna go, the people voting out Kyle invited her into alliance, and it's not slowing down. It's not stopping. This girl just keeps getting added. So when the majority does solidify, she probably gonna be in it anyways. So it's like she's just giving, like, no one's going to target. Literally, no one is going to target her. No one is going to pawn her. No one is going to nominate her. Whoever wins HOH, if it's not her, it's going to be probably good for her game because they're probably going to be like, oh, well, Helena's safe and Helena's going to be in our alliance and we're going to run the house. Whoever side it's on, she's going to be on it. So I don't know. It's like, it's a seven. It's a seven. It just is. She just has so many options. So no matter what happens, she's good. The only issue is if she wins HOH, then it's like, what are you gonna do? Are you really gonna get? I don't know how she can handle an HOH with the type of game she's playing, but that hasn't happened. So how am I rate that about her? Um, I'll just go to Herman. Um, Herman is interesting because I feel like he's a good player, and I really think he always does stuff that helps his game. Because this week he could have went home, but he did. He was active in reconciling things with Gino. He did put in a lot of good work with Gino to the point where Gino was ready to work with Herman again. It's just Helena kind of undid that work a little bit later in the throughout the week. But Herman still put in good work. Herman has reconciled things with Summer and Tanisha, who were kind of side eyeing him, and that's really good for him because as long as one of them win HOH, then he could try to get back up. But with Herman is kind of like he keeps. I think every week it's just someone gets added to the list of people who want to target him. Last week it was like 3 people. The week before that was 2 people, and this week it's 4 people. So it's like it just someone keeps getting added to the list. So it's like Herman, like I don't know what he needs to do, but he's really struggling. I feel to be safe. So if the wrong person wins HOH, he's really gonna be targeted next week. So it's just tricky because he put in a lot of good work, but he's also probably one of the most in danger people, damn near next week. So, mm, I'm gonna give Herman a
Yeah. I'm also gonna settle at a 5 for Herman. I do definitely. I have to bring him down only for the simple fact of that, like you said, a lot of people are targeting him. They're targeting him. Damn near the entire house, minus Betty, Tanisha, and Summer, have spoken about directly going after him.
5. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Moose, and
And
everyone else has except Moose, Betty,
Tanisha
Tanisha,
and
and
Summer.
Summer, and even Betty has entertained conversations where it was mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
So and even Summer and Tanisha have spoken about how we don't really know how much we can trust Herman. I think Herman, he said it. That's why he was so pissed at Kyle. Kyle ruined everything Herman built.
Mm-hmm.
He had to rebuild from the ashes the kingdom that he built. The Savage Seven was his kingdom, and it was set up for success. I mean, look how the HOHs have gone so far.
Mm-hmm.
The only one that wasn't under in their alliance was Marty, and they had full control over it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel bad for him because a lot of the unfair grouping of the Black House guest has now placed him in this imaginary core alliance with Tanisha and Moose, and that's why it's not a lot. The 5 is not a lot about on what he's doing because I think he's a very savvy player. I
Mm-hmm.
think he's a very smart player. He has a great game sense. He knows who he needs to work with. He
Mm-hmm.
knows what to say to who. You know what I mean? And I
Mm-hmm.
really love that about him. He's really, I didn't think he would be so focused and game centered. And I love that about him. I think he's one of the smartest players in the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just his position isn't reflecting that because of the craziness of this house.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what brings him down to the 5. I do
Exactly.
think if he can clinch another HOH, he can go up. If he can flip Gino fully back to his side, which I think is 1,000% possible, then he will be back in control. losing Gino as a piece is a very bad thing for him, I feel, because now Gino has his own kind of circle of influence, and losing Gino, all of those people now have free reign to target Herman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
someone like Marty, who is clearly good at winning comps, is coming for that man's head.
Yeah.
So, like I said, if the next few HOHs go his way, Herman is sitting in one of the best spots again. And I'm hoping that happens because he deserves it as a player. He honestly does. Like, watching him maneuver through this house has some of the best strategy like I've seen. So, but it is the 5 for now, and let's just pray that it goes up. God, he needs HOH, Lord.
Yeah, I feel bad for her mom because he put in the work to not be in a bad position, but he still is because of things
Because of
because of things that weren't his fault. It was literally random, and it's like that sucks because it's just like good Big Brother players should get good. I don't know, they should get good back, but he's not. But
well, most good players don't get grouped with another group of players because they all have the same skin color. So,
well, and on that note, JC Lynn is A1. Next.
yeah, Jason Lynn, I'll say this: Jason Lynn is definitely a 1. No real game sense. Her closest ally, her man, the nigga I want, with HOH this week, and this girl was playing Barbie's Funhouse. Jason was cooking, cleaning. You gotta cook, clean, and wash everything, okay? Gino was going out and he was working, he was socializing, he was getting those bonds, and Jason was in the HOH room just dusting and folding his socks. She had dinner ready for him, like a good housewife, but a terrible Big Brother player. It's bad for JC Lynn. I mean, I saw the episode this morning. She got Gino flipped. I said, this girl is okay. She's a 1. She is not playing. She is not playing Big Brother anymore. The girl is playing Barbie's Funhouse, and she looks like she's living her best life. I hope it's a great vacation for her.
I gave
And
her
so,
I gave her a 1.5 instead because I want to reserve the ones. Because next week, if she's on the block, I want to give her a 1 then. I feel like this week at least she's not on the block.
I'll give her a 1 again. I don't care. You're right.
No, no.
No, I feel like you're right though, because if I'm giving someone a 1 if they're not even on the block, I mean, but she's just so terrible,
She
right?
is a 1
Fuck
though.
Fuck it. Who's rule? This is
This
our
is
show.
your rules.
No, she's a 1.
A 1. Do it. I'm gonna give her 1.5 because I'm the generous queen. How I said. I'm glad we zoomed through that because what was there to talk about? Jess. Now I really Jess confuses me because I really, like I said, I want to say this last podcast or the podcast before, it's interesting to see Jess play because the house pariah never usually makes it this far. Jess is staying again. But I just feel like their game is hard for me to fully understand. Like I don't even know what to rate them because they're targeting her mom, but it's like, why again? And then they might target Gino after that, and it's kind of like, wait, why again? But it's like you're still in the house, and Jess has friends. I think Helena and Kevin and Josh are gonna try to have their back as much as possible. They're good with Marty, and the blacks people I think wouldn't target Jess. They would target other people before Jess, so that's good. And the white people would target. I hate to say it, the black and white people, but hey, it's what it is. And the white people wouldn't target Jess either. So after this week, they're in a good position. But like, what else will you do? Like, will you do anything? I don't know. I don't know. It's not a lot there. I feel like when it comes to game sense, I just feel like they are ending up in a good position because no one dislikes them. No one finds them as like someone they need to target. They're not on the other side of the house as anybody. They're just in the middle. And all of these middle players, it's very interesting this season. This season has so many middle players. And those middle players are getting the benefit of the other sides going after each other. And it's so many middle players that it's like, oh, well, I mean, there's like 5 people who probably won't get nominated. And Jess might be one of them, but Jess could also be a pawn like they were this week. So it's like, ooh, are you doing good? And then I feel like, I don't know. I just don't know. And I feel like, did Jess put in much work to get involved? Or is it just that they're not black? Like, if Jess was black, would Jess have gotten invited into that alliance? Like, no. It's like, I just don't even know. I'm going to give Jess, 2.5. They're on the block. If they weren't on the block, it would be a little higher, but they're on the block, so it's 2.5.
And
They're not going
yeah, they
home, but
are
shit.
nominated.
But they're not going home,
And
so I guess it doesn't
I
really
was
matter.
I was really high on Jess because I was like, okay, last week because I was like, okay, the sides are probably going to solidify. We're probably going to get a Herman side HOH. When that solidifies, she's going to be in a good position because she's not going to be targeted before a few good people. Like, she was going to be set. But that didn't happen. Gino got clutch power, and for some reason, Gino saw her as this evil mastermind that saw them as some evil mastermind that flipped the votes. And so they were just kind of ostracized again because when they were originally nominated against Marty, a lot of people liked Marty, and a lot of people that they went to last week to help Josh stay, they were like, well, we kind of want Marty to stay, and they kind of got that sense, and then they realized, oh shit, like, I'm not really with them like that. So then she goes back to Kevin and Helena and like and Josh, and I'm like, we have to get out Herman. Like, Herman's this big threat. Like, that's kind of why they were like, okay, now Herman is that threat for them. However, I just feel like no matter who Jess targets, no matter who, it's like they're in a position to where like none of it really matters right now. We have to just see how lucky she end up getting. Hopefully, they end up getting. Hopefully, I don't know. I don't really see it for them. I'm gonna have to settle on a 3 for Jess.
Okay.
I do think they could go up. Like, I was higher on Jess because I gave them a 3 week 1, and then I went up. But I have to go back down to that 3 because they are nominated. And I mean, in the future, if they get nominated again, I mean, who is keeping Jess?
Who's saving Jess?
I mean, Marty is probably one of the shadiest people in the house, and they were like that, ready to jump on them. And so, like, no one, even Kevin, always talks about Jess can go. Like, I don't think Helena cares that much about Jess. Like, I feel bad. I feel bad because I just think it's gonna be some point in the game, unless they're able to skate all the way to Final Four. It's gonna be some point in the game where they're nominated again, and it's gonna be like, well, they can go because they are still seen as a threat somehow. So it's like,
Jess is the player that like a really good player survives against. I feel like Jess is the player that Herman gets nominated and Herman really needs to like flip everybody and then Herman's able to save it. Like Jess is the player who is like, oop, you just got out, oops, and that's what it's becoming. So it's like, ooh, goodbye. Next person is Josh. Now, Josh, this is Lee. You want to talk about Josh?
So Josh, Big Daddy, Joshua, he is so fine. Like, that man is beautiful. Like, not even like fine, not even like sexy. That man is beautiful.
B-E-A.
Like, I just be on feeds like in awe. So Josh is essentially one of the best setup players in the house. I think he is the safest player in the house. I tweeted this earlier, but once Kyle leaves, he will be aligned. Josh will be aligned with literally every single person in the game. Now that's a tight rope to walk because now if he wins HOH, which he hasn't said he wants to do, but if he wins HOH, who are you gonna nominate, player? Who the hell is you gonna put up? You know what I mean? Somebody gonna be pissed off. I mean, he is in alliances. I'm not talking about, oh, I'm good with you. No, straight up alliances with these people. So I do think it's gonna be really tricky for him. But I have to give him that 7 because I feel like literally if he just sits there, he's in final 2 and he's probably gonna win. I mean, he stayed to a 9-2 vote on our blind side. That many people were like, we love this man. He's good for our games. We want him to stay. I think, honestly, moving forward, he could be an 8. It depends on how much agency he chooses to take. I do think he could be doing a little bit more with the position he has. Right now, like I said, he's instead put himself in a situation to where he's cool with everybody. Everyone loves him, and I don't think that's necessarily the best position. It's the safest. It's going to get him the furthest, which is why he gets to 7. But it's like he has to start. I feel like pushing his weight around a little bit. Now it's time to start running shit. Now it's time to start dictating things. Get you a group, set up some targets. I don't, you know what I mean? I want to see that he has that extra in his game, but on social skills alone, like he's eating it up.
Alrighty. What'd you give him?
7.
Okay.
What happened? You missed it?
I missed it. I was my ADHD. All right. I agree. I really do agree. I feel like it's interesting because Josh is like in such a good position, and I think he's a good player. But then there's times where I'm like, wait a minute, he's just not doing enough, is he? Like, it's like, I don't know. It's really interesting because at the beginning of the game, I remember thinking like, ooh, baby, Josh, that was like delusion for us. But now it's like, okay, Josh is in a really good position. Damn near everybody got damn near everybody to save him last week. That was a power, like that was great. And then this week he's in such a great position because, like you said, he's in an alliance with literally everybody. Everybody wants to work with him, and he's doing a good job at making sure everybody feels like he's on their side. And he hasn't like wavered. He hasn't done the rat floater thing, which I think could be a positive because every other person in the middle is rat floating, and I think they could get caught up. They haven't, but I think I like that Josh has kind of like just taken information and just kept it for himself. And I really think that's good for him. I'm gonna give him a 7 too. I do feel like he's just the power player right now. Like he has potential to really take this game and sling it around wherever he wants to do. So I think next week or whenever we'll see if he really grabs hold of the game. But I'm waiting for somebody to grab hold of the game, but they haven't. So we gonna keep it going. Kevin.
I also want to make a statement too. I just want to say like these middle players, like for example, like spoiler alert, I'm probably gonna give Kevin a pretty good score too, and I gave Helena a pretty good score, Josh a pretty good score. These people who are kind of playing in the middle. These scores are definitely not permanent. I do think it's gonna become bumpy down the road because these votes are gonna become smaller, and everyone's not gonna want the same thing. Sides are gonna have to be chosen. So it's gonna be interesting to see where those pieces fall when that happens.
Right.
But yeah,
right.
Kevin.
I was just gonna say Kevin is in such a similar position to Josh and Helena. It's kind of like we're saying similar things because Kevin is in a good position. Kevin's damn near working with everybody in the house. Kevin is working with everybody in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he is. Kevin is in a good position too because he's in the middle. I think some people don't trust Kevin and some people do trust Kevin, which is what differentiates him from Josh and Helena-ish, I think, because I do think damn near everybody trusts Helena and Josh. I think with Kevin, it's kind of like, Herman might be like, ooh, it's like it's some butts here, but I also think Kevin has more agency than Josh and Helena. So it's weird. I like Kevin as a player because he does do things that causes stuff to happen throughout the house. Kevin, I don't know, because these middle players really get on my nerves because I feel like with them, it's like something could happen where it's like, ooh, they need to pick a side, but it just hasn't happened. And in the usual season, it will happen, but it just hasn't happened. So at this point, Kevin's playing really good. At this point, Kevin is good. No one is really going to nominate Kevin. If I guess a Herman wins HOH, he could decide to target like a Kevin or like a middle player. So that could be rocky, but that's like the only rocky situation. And even then, I don't think Kevin would necessarily go against whoever he might be nominated against. So I don't know. I just feel like I have to give him a 7 too. Like if Helena's getting a 7 and Josh is getting a 7, no, I'm gonna give Kevin a 6.5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give Kevin a 6.5 just because of what I said. Like I do feel like it might get a little bit iffier for Kevin. I don't know. Something about Kevin game is just like it. I don't know. I'm just giving 6.5. 6.5. Did I say 7.5? I'm at 6.5.
Yeah, you said 6.5.
Okay, you go.
So I want to give Kevin a 6.
Okay.
I feel like I have to keep him at the 6. I gave him a 6 last week. I feel like I have to keep him at the 6 because I do think, unlike Josh and Helena who are playing these middle games who have the 7, like you said, he just doesn't have. He's working with everyone, but he just doesn't like some people just don't trust him that much. I do think Helena stays with him at this point. I think Josh stays with him at this point. I think a lot of people. I do think he's one of the more likely pawns in the future. He's kind of set himself up to be this person that you kind of can use, and when it's time to start getting used, that means maybe you're a pawn. You know what I mean? There are people in the game right now who want to nominate him, like you mentioned Herman. I'm pretty sure Moose wouldn't care to nominate him. You know what I mean? And even one of those people easily win the next HOH, depending on which side Josh chooses. He's put a lot of stake into Josh, and Josh has his pot in hand and so many other pots.
Yeah.
So it's like that could be a potential ally he doesn't actually have. And like Helena, like I said, her only real alliance is that $100,000. So I just feel like he, similar to Jess, isn't anyone's main priority, and that's my issue for him. I do think I have to keep him at a conservative 6 because I don't know how the game is going to be for him moving forward. I can see him sneaking his way to the end, and I do think if he can win a few of those game comps, he has a good chance to win. But I don't see how he's going to get there just yet.
Mm-hmm. Next is Kyle. Thoughts?
So last week I was like, we cannot give Kyle the 0.5 because you know we had to save it for a moment. But this is hashtag Z moment. Okay, this man got backdoored by his own final two after just being blindsided by a 9-2 vote. He has got to be the worst player in Big Brother history, Big Brother Canada history, Big Brother North America history, Big Brother South America history. He's just a terrible player. I think none of us saw this coming. Well, some may, fair enough. But the downfall has been delicious. It happens just like that. Like I said, I didn't think we were going to get a Kyle backdoor this week. I didn't see it. I was like, I already accepted it, and now it's happening. I think he's a 0.5. I can't wait to eat him up on Twitter when he gets out. Yeah. He deserves it. He deserves 0.5. Now, the 0.5 is reserved for flops like Kyle Moore. Moving forward, anyone who's 0.5, you're Kyle Moore. You might as well be Kyle Moore, babe.
Well, I have to I think Lee put up a great argument, so I got to give him a 0.5. I don't have much to say about Kyle because I already knew this about Kyle. It was giving loser, and it still is. I was very low on Kyle coming into this game. Week 1, I was shocked. I was shocking the world by giving him that 7. And how you go from a 7 to a 1?
You almost gave him a 7.5.
I almost gave him a 7.5, and that's because I let peer pressure get to me, and I just know now that I will always be right. Next, next is Marty. So I hate middle players. Lee, what about Marty?
I just feel like Marty is in such a weird position. Like not too many people trust him, but then a lot of people still do. I mean, he flipped on Gino, but Gino still wants to work with him. He won Canada's favor, so everyone, that's part of the reason why everyone wants to work with him. I think he's in a weird position. Strangely, a good position. I mean, a few people like Tanisha, Herman, Moose kind of got his number a bit. You know what I mean? But I think there was enough people in the house that are willing to keep him safe. So I think I'm gonna go with a. I'm gonna give him a 5 as well.
Okay.
I think it's a 5. I do think similar to a lot of players on, similar to like Herman, because Herman also has a 5. If the next 3 HOHs go Marty's way, I mean, he's probably sitting in those final 2 chairs, 100%. And I do think Marty can win the game. So I do think it's gonna just be an uphill battle. He lost a lot of social capital after this, after doing that flip. I mean, he fully turned on Kyle. Like I said, he has a working relationship with Gino, but I don't know how 100% that is. Gino did express, like, if you did it once, could you do it later in the game? But they do seem to have reconciled a bit. He still has Kevin. He still has Helena. Think he got Josh? I don't know. Like I said, we don't know who Josh is low. He with everybody. So he might have Josh. He has Summer to an extent. So it's like a lot of people are not touching him right now, but also enough people are looking at him.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Marty, I feel like he I think he's good. I think his something about his game is good. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna say his social game. I don't know. Something about his game is good because he tends to get people to wanna like him, wanna work with him. I do think Summer genuinely, a part of her wants to work with him. And he has Helena who wants to work with him, Kevin who kind of wants to work with him, Josh who might want to work with him, Gino who does want to work with him. So it's like he has a tendency to really get these relationships where people do want to protect him and work with him and bring him in and stuff. So even though he made kind of like this move where he lost a lot of respect, I still feel like he's in a good position. I can see Marty, like earlier this week, Marty was nominated. If Marty was a final nominee, Marty was probably gonna stay. When kind of for some people's game, it wasn't even necessarily good for Marty to stay over Jess, But I feel like he still was gonna stay. So I feel like Marty is a good player, and it's interesting. I think his game is just very interesting. Even the way he moves is just interesting because the way he turned on Kyle, I wasn't actually expecting that. I really wasn't. But it kind of could have helped because it distanced him from Kyle before Gino. Because some people were thinking about, oh, well, I'll probably target Marty and Gino since they're so close to Kyle and da 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 da. But now that this happened, it's like, well, I mean, Marty might not go for a while, especially if the comps go the way that it needs to go. And Marty's not bad at Marty has won 2 comps himself. I got to give Marty a 5 too. And it could go up, honestly. I got some hopes. I have hopes for a nigga. Moose. Moose is just in a sucky position. I feel like even though Moose is kind of like took a background after his nomination and winning veto, I feel like he hasn't been able to get out of that position at all. He's kind of just done. All he's done has been like, well, I'm working with Summer, Tanisha, and Herman, and I'm leaving it at that. There's no conversation to be had. That's it. I'm working with the blacks, and that's it. Period. I don't even care. And he's. I think socially he's like nice, and people are starting to like him. But other than that, it's like people are targeting him. He's going to be nominated against Herman probably if the wrong person win HOH. The middle people are kind of like, well, if we can't target somebody from if the middle people have to choose someone to target and stay safe, Moose is that girl. If Helena does end up winning HOH, I think Moose might be that girl where she can target him and kind of stay in good with both sides. Moose is still in a bad position, I feel. So it's like, well, that sucks. I don't think he hasn't done much to get out of it. So it's like, what do you want me to do? Like, you want me to give you a higher rating when you haven't done anything? I don't know. I will say, for some reason, I can see more hope for his game. I do think he is better trusted by Summer, Tanisha, and Herman than he was last week. So that one thing has improved. And he survived another round. And I kind of just want to give him a 3. So I'm going to just give him a 3 instead of a 2.5. That's it.
So I feel like with Moose, I gave Moose last week a 3.5. And honestly, there is no real improvement in his game. So I'm definitely going to give him a 3.5 again. It sucks because... like you said, he is loyal to the blacks. Herman, Tanisha, Summer, Betty, Josh. But they're not really loyal to them. Him. That much. They're working with him out of convenience, but he's not someone they want to take to the end. And they're not someone like when they include like Herman just today. He went to Summer Tanisha. He was like, we should have Final Four with Josh. Did not mention Moose. Moose is the add-on, very much like additional. You know what I mean? Moose is a target for a lot. I do think Herman is edging him out in target wise. I think Herman at this point could actually go over Moose if they're sitting next to each other. So that's a positive. But I don't really see them sitting next to each other. Honestly, I think one of them will win a veto, like has been said. So like I said, it really is going to be a 3.5 for me. The good thing about Moose's game moving forward, and I think there is promise, and I think there's a chance to rise, because even though it's not a solidified split, like boom, we're against each other, fuck y'all. It's still a split. Like if he gets nominated, it's gonna be next to a Tanisha, a Herman, a Josh, Summer, a Betty, and that kind of just places him with them. So they're not targeting him because of that, and he won't target them because of that. So even whether they want to claim him or not, he with him, and because of that simple fact, he could potentially do better if they start winning more competitions. So it really just depends on that. I do think if Herman is taking out and before him, then he might be really screwed, because at that point he's definitely going to become the next biggest target in the game. But we should have to see moving forward. Like I said, the next two HOHs go his way. Like a lot of people, things really change for him. But I just think he's in such a terrible position. Someone else who I mean, Kyle's just ruining black men game always. Brown men, black and brown men gang. Like, it's just terrible. Like, because he really just destroyed Moose and Herman's game. So now they're literally the two biggest targets. He's going home, and they're the two biggest targets in the game. This like a 0.5. Not only are you fucking yourself up, you're fucking up other people. Go home.
Go home, Roger. God. The next person is Summer. So, my girl. Look. Look. You know how this is you know how we were saying the middle people are in like basically the best position. They're doing so good. Summer has a side, but is still in a middle person position, which is why she is 7.5. And let me get into it. Summer has a whole side of people who trust her. Herman trusts her. Tanisha trusts her. Moose is begging to work with her. Josh trusts Summer. Betty trusts Summer. That's her whole side. And then the people on the other side, Gino, Kevin, Marty, all are like, I mean, we can work with Summer. We like Summer. Summer's that girl. Summer's my sis. Gino is begging damn near to bring Summer in, etc., etc. When they're talking about the people on the other side, they're talking about Herman, Tanisha, and Moose. They don't even... Summer sit there talking to Tanisha and Herman all day. Not Herman. Talking to Tanisha all day. And they still don't even want to... They don't even want to say that Summer's their target. They're ready to say Moose, Tanisha, and Herman are all together, and they're coming after us, and they're the kingpins, and they're running the game, and they gotta go. Summer is good. Nobody is targeting Summer. If anybody wins HOH for, I want to say, the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, they're not nominating Summer. There are so many people in front of Summer. If one side of the house wins, Herman gotta go, Moose gotta go, Tanisha gotta go, and Betty gonna go before Summer too. If they can win 5 HOHs in a row and Summer's still not gonna go. If Summer's side wins, she's real good. If Herman or someone wins HOH, Summer can really solidify things. And Summer has outs to target people. Some of these people can't win HOH. If Summer wins HOH and target JC Lynn, Gino said, I want you to do that. Gino told her. He was like, I kind of want you, you know? So she's good. 7.5. Like, she has people to target. Like, she's good. She's in a good position. She's damn near in a middle position, but she has a side. If her side wins HOH, it can solidify. You know, I said all I had to say. Lee, what you think?
Before I even get into my rant of how Summer is the queen of Big Brother, I remember I told you, I was like, he just said it to Gino. I don't think he really meant that. Let's see where that goes. He did not tell JC Lynn.
He didn't.
So that was a very sad.
He didn't.
So we really need to sit here and dissect the game of Miss Summer Sales, okay? This bitch is so fucking iconic. I'm so sorry for the profanity, but this girl is so iconic. Her social game is so good that like Pharaoh said, these girls on the whole entire side and they're reaching mental gymnastics, breaking their fucking back and not including Summer with them. Summer don't do nothing but talk to the same motherfucker every day. And they are in rooms. Yeah. Tanisha, Moose and her mom. That's a trio. Summer's not in that. Gino like, oh, I got Summer. I got Summer. Now Jason Lynn not touching Summer because that's the thing. Jason Lynn know what's going on between them two. She like, I let him have his fun. She's playing housewife. I let him have his fun. I'm probably gonna keep the bitch safe. I can use honey. You know what I mean? So Jason Lynn's not targeting her. Marty isn't targeting her. Kevin trusts her the most. In the episode, he said, "I would hate for Summer Tanisha to go home." I think he trusts Summer a lot. Again, someone else doing mental gymnastics. Kevin said in a conversation with Josh that honestly, I may be overthinking, but I feel like Tanisha is playing Summer a bit. Just like you say, you don't want to target my sister. Be honest. No one is targeting Summer in this house. Honestly, I came in here to give her a 7, but you know what? 7.5. You're right. She deserves to be the highest rated player tonight because not only do you know what? The thing that differentiates about Summer is that she's an active player. A lot of the reason why Josh stayed last week, which is why he's 7 this week, is because the work that Summer put in. Summer pulled in Helena and Kevin to make them comfortable voting for Josh went to Summer to make sure, hey, we voted for Josh, let's get together, vote for Josh. Summer has so many people in this, just they all love her. They literally all love her. So many people are targets before her. If Tanisha, Herman, and Moose go home back to back, whether it's a 9 or 7-person jury, the bitch is in jury already, and they're damn sure not going to target her after all of that. They're going to set up so well. My sister can win this game.
Girl.
Y'all understand? Like, I love watching her on the feed. Like, she is just, I love this. Like, she is, put some respect on Summer's name. Point blank motherfucking period. Every time my sister have a conversation on feeds, y'all be like, oh, what is Summer doing? Winning the damn game. Oh, what is Summer doing?
Winning the damn game.
What is Summer doing? Not being targeted. What is Summer doing? Not going home.
Not going home. Purr.
She got it.
Purr. Look, that was enough said. 7.5. Last but not least, my bitch Tanisha, the baddest bitch in the house. Now let me calm down. Tanisha, well, you know what's crazy? You know, the first 2 weeks we was like, oh, I mean, Tanisha and Summer, you know, they kind of similar, but Summer's doing better. That drift is, and you know what we said? We said that it's starting to drift apart. It's going to drift more and more, and it's just drifting more and more apart. Baby, Tanisha, what you doing? Because Kevin don't trust Tanisha. Gino don't trust Tanisha. Helena don't trust Tanisha. Marty don't trust Tanisha. Jess don't trust Tanisha. Does Josh even?
Bam. She
getting drugged down by her mom, and she don't even talk to her mom. Like her mom and her talk once a week because he trying to do his. It's giving. It's bad for my sister, and it's unfortunate because she's also hasn't done much. They think this bitch is the queen of things. They think Tanisha is right. They think Tanisha is Summer. They think Tanisha is Summer, and it's crazy because Tanisha is just sitting cute, sitting pretty, eating her food. Tanisha is baddie, baby, and she finna get a baddie rating. What I give Betty? It's a 4.
You giving her a 4?
It is a 4. She damn near got backdoored today, babe. She damn near gonna get backdoored next week, babe. It ain't much better than Betty. It ain't much better than Betty.
And you know what? For that, I gotta drop it down to a 5. I do love Tanisha. I think Tanisha, she would start off in such a dominant position.
Ooh,
She is
what's
someone
going on?
else. A lot of the POCs
What's
were
going on?
badly
Okay.
affected by Kyle's reign of terror because that's when he started grouping all of them together and kicking them out the alliance. And basically, when that happened, she separated from Gino, which is
Mm-hmm.
why he wanted to target her this week. She separated. Her and Marty had lost the connection because she felt like Marty was using her after her mom let her know that Marty is not to be trusted. So she just stopped talking to him. She doesn't talk to Jason Lynn.
Mm-hmm.
She talked to Jess last week when she didn't come up with Josh, and she ain't spoke to the bitch all week.
Mm-hmm.
So she just doesn't talk to people, and
Mm-hmm.
that scares a lot of people. But when they do see her talking to braiding Moose hair or laughing Herman,
Mm-hmm.
talking to Summer, but because they like Summer, they gonna
They
make
gonna
it make
ignore
sense in their
that.
head. They gonna make it make sense in their head to be like, nah. So like we said it. We said as the game go by, Summer's gonna go up and Tanisha may drop.
Mm-hmm.
Um, her only upside is that her proximity to Summer.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that if Moose and Herman are targets before her in Summer, which I think they can make something shake. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Once Moose and Herman is gone, I can't imagine everyone not saying, "Okay, now let's handle Gino."
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no way you get out Moose Herman and not look at Gino. If you go to Tanisha after that, something is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Something not clicking. I do think she got ruined because of circumstance. Um, Kyle and his reign of terror really just fucked up her game. It sucks because she should be doing better, but I do think what makes a good player is to see them thrive in adversity.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I can't sit up here and say, oh, it's all because of what Kyle did. Because look at Summer.
Mm-hmm.
Summer was in the same position, and look where she at.
Mm-hmm.
So I just hope Tanisha can make it because I do love her and I want her to be in jury. I want her to be in jury. That's why I hope it's a jury of 9 because it's only 1 week of praying and all my favorites are in jury. But
No,
it's gonna keep
right.
dropping if she can't make something shake. But I don't really see it for her anymore. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
This honestly, this is the Tanisha I felt preseason. It was like I don't see her being able to
Mm-hmm.
because she was kind of placed in a good position due to her closeness with Herman, but she hasn't been able to grow past that. Someone like Summer is able to grow past what they're given. That's why Summer has to be above the rest because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a player like Josh so far hasn't proven to be past what he's kind of given.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. So I put the girlies in order. Um, and our highest. See, we started at lowest or highest. I've always started at highest. It doesn't matter.
Highest because we
Our
need to hear our name
our
first.
highest rated player for 2 weeks in a
2 weeks in a
row
row.
is Miss Summer Sales. This is the highest rating we've given this season, a 7.5. I've noticed that the higher people are getting a little higher as the weeks go up. So it's getting cute. It's getting cute. Helena once again is second place because that's what she probably is going to get in the game. No, I'm playing, but Helena. Helena once again is second place. With a 7, she's tied with Josh, who also has a 7. For I guess he's technically third place. He is because he didn't get a 7 last week like Helena, or he wasn't. Kevin is fourth, like he was last week, with a 6.25. And then we got Herman. Herman is dropping down a little bit. We got Marty. Marty is rising up a little bit. Herman and Marty are tied with 5s. Betty, come on, girl. She's in the same place as she was last week, in the middle of the pack. I just want to give her a little
Queen.
collapse because she should be at the bottom. Tanisha is tied with Betty, and then we got Gino, then we got Moose, then we got Jess, JC Lynn, and that's it. So Kyle's at the bottom. Point 0.5, baby. Why? So this is real cute. I really like this. It really does just put it into perspective of how the game is looking, how people are playing. I love Summer. Summer is that girl. If Summer don't win. So we'll see how it goes next week and who was HOH, and then we can talk about it next week. So let's get into our giraffes.
So we finna tie up again because I'm losing
We
Kyle.
are. You're losing Kyle. So you still got Gino, Betty, Moose, ooh, Herman, ooh.
Like that's the thing. Like
Huh?
the
Do you do got
bad.
Summer? You do got the baddest bitch in the house. I will say.
I do think if I have to pick a top 3 for my draft
Mm-hmm.
of potential winners,
Mm-hmm.
it will be Gino, Summer, or Kevin. I think one of them will take it.
I,
Gino, Summer, and Kevin.
on mine, I gotta say Josh, Marty, or Helena.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. We about what and
Either
what?
one of these six would be good. Win. Not Gino. I don't want Gino to win. I do not want Gino to win. That's the only sucky thing about
Why?
all of this
Why you don't want Gino to win?
is that because we have 50% POC rule. I don't want to see another white winner for at least 10 years. I'm being so straightforward.
Purr.
I want it needs to be a queer, a woman, or a POC every fucking year for the next 10 years. I don't want, it could be a Caucasian woman. It's fine. No
Mm-hmm.
more white men.
Purr. And I'm gonna stand by that. So, oh,
Gino will get a pass though because he is fine.
it is.
So if he does win, I guess I'll allow it.
I don't. I think if I got the winner, it's Josh. I don't think Helena gonna win. I don't know why. Something about I don't think.
Helena is definitely playing for sixth
I
place.
think Marty could win. I don't. Helena's giving sixth, right? I was thinking that she's giving fifth, sixth. I don't know. I'm scared of Helena. Summer. I'm scared of Summer because I'm scared that the girls might be like, Summer gotta go. I think Kevin could win this season. I
I
think
think
Marty
Helena's issue is that
and I think Josh.
I think Helena's issue is going to be I don't think Helena, no one's taking Helena to the final two. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's going to come to a point where she has to win competitions, and I don't know how she's going to be at those moving towards the end. I just don't.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's looking cute though. I can't wait to win this draft. And win. Yeah, win this draft.
It
Um,
could go either way.
it couldn't.
Honestly,
I'm gonna win.
remember it was ooh, nobody on your team winning, and now it's three of you.
No, literally. Okay. So that was fun. That was nice. I'm excited to see what goes on next week. Who wins the next HOH? This is gonna be really interesting. Get ready to join us next Wednesday where we'll be doing the same thing for these players next week for Big Brother Canada. Also, if you are into Survivor, join us tomorrow and every Thursday where we will be talking about the Survivor episodes. We will be recapping it and going over the players in Survivor or whatever. Please follow us on our social media at T Reality Kingdom. It is right down here, and you can follow us there on Twitter and on Instagram. Thank you guys so much for listening. Toodaloo! Mwah!